Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another Shoutcast practice video. We're a little late getting into this one, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into the action. Spectating my friend Skydunk once again. On the blue side, looks like we've got a Galio up in the top lane. Sorry, that's a Galio in the mid lane. We have Shen holding down the top lane, Kayn in the jungle, Kog'Maw at 80 carry, and a Bard support. Meanwhile, over on the red side, we've got Urgot up in the top lane, Evelynn in the mid lane. Actually, I'm not sure what they're doing. They might be running something completely different. Possibly even Urgot AD carry. Very difficult to tell who exactly is going where. I would guess Urgot, Fiddlesticks bottom lane, probably even the jungle, Poppy up at the top lane, and Talon in the mid lane. So going to be a very spicy composition, I think I would say. We're going to go ahead and see how it breaks down in game. Give us 1 sec and the loading screen will be right up. So already, red side running a unconventional team composition, and not one I think is going to work. They don't have the ability to, they don't have sustained ranged damage. Urgot does not count as a sustained ranged damage champion in the same vein as someone like Kog'Maw or Varus or Vayne do. So definitely going to be at a disadvantage in the late game team fights. However, they do have plenty of backline access to deal with the Kog'Maw. They do have the Talon for the burst assassination, the Eve for assassination. Poppy obviously is a huge tank that can get in the way, so we'll see how that works out. The Galio, I also feel, is at a huge disadvantage in the mid lane in this matchup, as he is up against a Talon and an Urgot who's going to do a lot of damage to him. There isn't a whole lot of magic damage on this team for Galio to stack against, so maybe at a slight disadvantage. Either we'll have to build AP to be effective and will therefore be squishy, or we'll be building armor, which is inefficient on Galio, if not necessarily a bad idea. The Kayn-Evelynn matchup, I do feel like goes to the Evelynn early. I think she's a pretty fantastic early duelist. Even though Kayn is as well, I do think Evelynn might be able to deal with it, though this is a Mastery 7 Kayn, so we'll have to see how that plays out. He has also gone Thunderlord's Decree, so this may be a Blue Assassin Kayn in the jungle, so we'll be very interested to see which transformation he takes. The Shen versus Poppy lane up in the top lane, it's going to be a farm lane. The biggest thing for me is, can the Poppy interrupt the Stand Uniteds and get some early pressure on the tower? And can she avoid being ganked, as I do feel like the Poppy will be pushing in on the Shen. Bot lane matchup, we already kind of touched on it, but it is going to be the Fiddlesticks Urgot bottom lane against the Kog'Maw Bard bottom lane. And I have to give it to blue team, like I was saying. The Bard in particular is going to have a lot of early pressure, Urgot being a very short-range champion, so not that much ability to get in, and the Fiddlesticks doesn't really help him or enable him to work, because if he terrifies the Kog'Maw or the Bard, they're going to run in the opposite direction, which means it's going to be that much harder for Urgot to get in range for a disdain. Now, if Urgot can land the E, he will be able to flip them and immediately shotgun them to death or force a flash. I think that will be pretty easy for the Urgot to do. He does have a fair amount of early damage. But the question will be, can they land the E? I think the only method for Urgot to do it would be using the Flash E combo, and if you do that, you are leaving yourself relatively vulnerable to a gank from the Kayn, as that's essentially Urgot's only mobility. E is not a very long-range ability, so we'll have to see how it does play out in game. And as I say that, of course, we are going to go ahead and start loading onto the Rift here. Looks like up at the top lane, we have Kim Jong-uni Huni. In the jungle, Choosing Ends. In mid lane, Mana Cat. At 80 carry, Hikikori Mori Mimer. And at support, Fate Kuromo. Meanwhile, over on the red side, we do have Rose Pygraph up in the top lane, Mado in the jungle, Killj at mid, Clowns Per Capita at AD carry, and Skydunk, his support. Now, I don't necessarily know if AD carry is even the appropriate phrase to use there. He probably will be building more bruisery, as that is generally what you want to do on Urgot, but we'll have to see what he ends up building. I do know Clowns Per Capita is a bit of a meta-challenging player, does like to do some interesting things. The Urgot pick may or may not work out. We will have to see how it goes. I don't expect there to be a lot of early aggression here. Actually, as I say that, red team grouping up, going for the invasion here. The Fiddlesticks, I don't believe, has Terrify leveled yet, but this may be a possibility. They have a lot of crowd control on their team. Urgot Disdain possibly into a Fiddlesticks Fear, and they have the burst damage. That is a Talon, but it looks like they will be spotted out there by the Kog'Maw. So maybe just a bit of early vision picked up by the team. Hikikori Mimer is going to get some damage down, but not that much. And Killj actually taking a decent chunk here, but will be able to walk out. The Kog'Maw, or sorry, the Bard actually doing some work with the Thunderlords, and that's going to be a flash, actually, forced out of Killjoy. Should have just backed off immediately, but was headed off by the Galio, and that's a summoner spell down. His pot has already been burned. Actually, that is a refillable, so not as much of a disadvantage for him, but he will have to go back to base and will be slightly late getting to lane, and that first level can be all the difference between Talon getting first blood and Talon not really having that great of a time in lane, so we'll have to see how much success he's able to have being at this experience disadvantage. Should be able to get there in time to hit all the minions, but we will have to see. And interestingly enough, the Kog'Maw is going to start in lane. They're going to have Bard leash for the jungler instead, and Kog'Maw will immediately go to the wave here. An interesting strategy, but because it's Kayn, he can get through this without as great of a leash as before. So I do think that this may pay off, especially as the Kog'Maw will be able to get the early shove in. But it looks like they're immediately going to be walking up on him. But again, the Urgot just so short range, going to be difficult to get any sort of harass down. And interesting to note as well that the Talon has not missed, I don't think, any CS. May be able to hit level 2 here, and we might see the legendary level 2 Talon all in, but Galio actually did get there first, so will not be an option on the table, and Galio is going to be a durable champion. It will be difficult for Talon to assassinate him, and Talon may have to use roaming to find success. Now, he does have a couple of relatively easy lanes to gank. You do have the Poppy, who especially can block the Shen Shadow Dash if he tries to just dash away from a gank, and you have the Urgot Fiddlesticks to sort of set you up, so we will see how this plays out. Finally hitting level 2 are getting shoved in by the Kog'Maw and the Bard, but we'll have to see how it goes. Killjoy actually getting a decent chunk of damage down. Manicat getting poked a little low here, has had to burn both of his potions, and Talon's still sitting on his 1 stack of refillables, so has the slight health lead, but there is a Kayn right there. Killjoy may be in a bad situation, but will actually does have the wall leap, but trying to go on to Choosing Ends, but Choosing Ends getting the easy duel. I don't really know why you would pick that strategy. You had your Ignite, sure, but that's a Kayn with Thunderlords. He is a very strong champion early on, did have the burst damage, and the Galio is right there anyways. Even if you're able to get the kill, you probably end up dying anyways to Manicat. So Killjoy giving up the early kill, and I think that's a big disadvantage for Red Team here, as Killjoy, if the Talon doesn't really get snowballing or get ahead early, his whole mid-game roaming and early game roaming just doesn't work out quite as well. Skydunk actually taking a lot of damage here. There was a minion back there, so he's forced to flash away immediately. Hikakori Mimer is going to flash as well, and Fake Kuromo does finish off the kill with his Ignite. Heal comes through, and the flash as well. Clowns per capita not able to get the trade kill, and he will have to walk back to the tower. It was a decent play from Skydunk trying to get down some early damage, but he had 1 minion standing behind him, which led immediately to the stun, immediately to the Ignite, and Mimer flashing forward I thought was a very risky play, but it worked out because Clowns per capita wasn't on him. But this is actually going to be Disdain going down, but it looks like the damage will not be there. Mimer is putting out a ton. Heal is forced out of Clowns per capita. He will be able to get out of this. A risky play. It almost worked out, but the Kog'Maw just with too much damage, and now Talon is here as well. Killjoy looking to try and get the kill, but the Kog'Maw is out of his range. He isn't quite able to get in. There it is. The passive is on, and Kuromo is going to go down. Urgot now walking back into the bush, but I don't think he's going to find the kill. This will be the Kog'Maw recalling and going back to base. So very nicely played by the Talon. Going for the early roams is what you need to do as Talon, and he found the kill back. This is actually going to be Kayn going in, but the Disdain and the Terrify are enough to get the Urgot to safety. Choosing Legends now trying to get anything he can back, but a big minion wave and the Fiddlesticks having a decent amount of damage will prevent him from doing that much. And the biggest thing here is the Galio. You know, the more I think about it, the more I actually like the Galio pick into the Talon. Talon's early roams will be countered immediately once Galio hits 6, as he won't even have to follow the Talon until the Talon almost shows up in lane, because then he can just get in range for the hero's impact, or hero's entrance, I should say, make an impact, and help out his team. This is actually going to be an all-in here from Manicat. A lot of damage comes down, but Killjoy is able to walk away from that just fine. Now Skydunk taking a bit of harass, but no problem. And the Evelynn has been surprisingly quiet this game. She's had the opportunity to gank Kim Jong-hooni up in the top lane, or potentially to roam down bottom lane, knowing that the Urgot and the Fiddlesticks are being pushed in. And now finally makes an appearance. The charm is there. Hassel Hate Spike, there it is. Mado doing a lot of damage. The flash in! Disdain from the Urgot, and one more knee shotgun will take it, but he's taking a lot of damage. There's the Kayn. He will be able to get the return kill. Now Skydunk is trapped. A double kill picked up, and Mado has to walk out with her life. Very nicely played. The Kayn was there to immediately respond, and Mado, I don't think has had the early impact she needed to have on the champion. I do think Evelynn has some relatively decent ganks, had a lot of good lanes to gank for as well, and just wasn't able to leverage that early pressure. Meanwhile, the Kayn was able to get everything he wanted, and now getting poked down by the Kog'Maw under tower. That's that Kog'Maw range making work for him. And definitely going to be a very difficult proposition now in that bottom lane. Now with the Kog'Maw up and kills Killjoy, actually taking a lot of damage here. May not be able to get out of here. One more Q actually will finish off Manicat, and Killjoy picks up his second kill of the game. Very nicely played. Kog'Maw back in lane, does have that pickaxe built up, will be going for the Ginsu's Rage Blade first, I assume. And meanwhile, Urgot looks like will be going for the classic Cleaver build. We'll have to see if he continues to build full damage or if he does go slightly bruisery. If the bruiser build does have the advantage of giving him more survivability, but you will still be lacking a lot of that early damage that you would come to expect. And especially with the Shen Galio, it's going to be really hard for Red Team to actually assassinate this Kog'Maw. He will have the damage reduction, he'll have the big shield, the Bard is there even for a clutch situation to drop off the heals or to simply use his ultimate, and Skydunk, a lot of health taken off just by that brief trade. Fiddlestick's not exactly the tankiest champion that has ever existed. And that is one of the advantages of having the Urgot in the bottom lane. Pop W and immediately kill any wards that are placed during their brief window of opportunity. This is actually going to be disdaining a lot of damage, and Fate Kuromo immediately goes down. Hikikori Mori Mimer is going to be able to walk out of this, but this is actually going to be the slow. The Galio ultimate is in, and Manicat will finish him off, and now Skydunk will be taken down as well. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They didn't even need to pull the trigger on the Shen ultimate. They were able to get the Galio coming all the way down, uses his own ultimate, and keeps the Kog'Maw alive. It's going to be so difficult to dive. A bit of a risky play from Clowns Per Capita. Had to hope that the Galio didn't notice, and he did have the map awareness to realize my Cog's getting dove. I need to be there. And Galio comes in, and there's nothing else you can do. Now, Killjoy might be looking for a play here onto Choosing Engines, but not that much in. The Evelynn is finally down as well, but a good dodge out from the Kayn. Thanks to that ultimate, he will be able to finish them off. But Mado flashes in for the ultimate, finishing them off with the Widowmaker. Very, very nicely done. A lot of execute damage, and sure, Killjoy didn't get the kills there, but 2 assists, and you can't be too mad about the Evelynn finally getting 2 kills. She's on the board now in a big way, and will hopefully continue to make these plays for the red team. They need their jungler to be the one to get these lanes out of these difficult situations, and so far hasn't had as much of an impact, but hopefully with the 2 kills under her belt, we'll be able to continue to translate that into more pressure. So we'll have to keep tabs on the Evelynn as the game goes on. Now, Hexdrinker actually built up for Killjoy, trying to survive this lane against the Galio. Galio with a lot of armor already in his build as well. So, not really able to be assassinated by the Talon, so he has to look elsewhere, but whenever he does, Hero's Entrance comes down. Now, Killjoy does have, I guess, slightly less downtime in between his patterns. He can roam down much more effectively, or much more often than Galio, but as long as the Hero's Entrance is up, Galio can immediately combat anything he wants to do. Now, actually, this is going to be a 3-man roam to the top lane. Choose Kim Jong-hooni, not really anything he can do. That's 2 assassins there. Didn't even see one of them. Skydunk taking a lot of damage here, but the Urgot is in. He does have the ultimate, but he won't use it quite yet, and this will be the Kog'Maw getting out in time. A decent all-in there from the bottom lane if they're able to find these opportunities, but unfortunately the Fiddlesticks just gets taken so low early on and then has to spend a lot of time draining up to get all of his health back. So, and actually Choosing Engines going on to Mado, a lot of damage down. The Thunderlord's Decree did a lot. The Disdain is there, though, in the bottom lane. Skydunk will be able to finish out the kill on a fake Kuromo. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we do have Killjoy going on. The Crowstorm is there. The ultimate, and Clowns Per Capita eats Hikikori Mimer. Manicat now getting traded on by Killjoy, but Killjoy's all by himself. No ultimate to get himself out, and he will go down as well. Manicat picking up the kill there. And the Kayn has had so much presence. Choosing Ends has been there every single time someone has tried to make a play. He was even in top lane for the 3-man gank. Unfortunately, nothing he could do. But he's been bot lane. He's been mid lane. He's been everywhere he needs to be. And it's been very, very nicely played by him. Using that early pressure from the Kayn, I believe should have the power to transform here fairly quickly once he goes back to base. So we'll have to see what form he does choose to take. I believe he will have unlocked the Rost form but it all depends on if he wants to take it or go for the Shadow Assassin, as it is a fairly squishy team composition on red side. They do have the Poppy and the Urgot, who looks like may be building more of a tanky build, but not quite yet. Now, Rose Pygraph actually trading with Kim Jong-hooni. A lot of damage down there. This is the ultimate, but this is going to be a lot of damage blocked by the Spirit's Refuge, and Rose Pygraph actually flashing in. No mana left, though, and Kim Jong-hooni flashes as well, but just to respect Flash, I don't think Rose Pygraph could have finished off the kill, even if she wanted to. So, very nicely done. Manicat just punching in, just for a little bit of wave clear. And it's good to see for the red team that they're getting some of that top lane presence in. I think that if the Poppy is able to keep beating the Shen like this, it may be very effective. Actually, neither one of them choosing to leave the lane. Mado caught out in the middle of her jungle. This is going to be the Kayn in. The ultimate is forced out. The Ignite is on, but I don't think she'll go down here. And choosing ends, forced to walk away. Killjoy now trying to look for a play, but there's the hero's entrance. Fake Kog'Maw should be totally fine. And there goes the Umbral Trespass. Choosing ends, ending Talon. This roam play has just been so effective. Actually, the Bard ultimate comes in. This fight never ends. Skydunk all by himself, though. Nothing he can do. The charm is actually there from Mado. A flash away from Fake Kog'Maw. And now the Urgot is all by himself. Does get the Blast Cone to knock away the enemy team. But a very scattered fight and a risky fight from Killjoy. Flipping over the wall. You know the Galio has the ultimate available. You know that the Kayn is there. I don't think there's an awful lot you can really do, and this looks like it will be a dragon now picked up for the red team, or for the blue team, sorry. So it's just an Ocean Drake, and it's 12 minutes in, so it won't be as effective as it would be normally, but it does help their gold lead continue to increase up to about 2,000 gold now. And red team, I don't think have this if it stalls late, and they will need to find a miracle here in the mid game if they do want to continue scaling and have a chance at winning this game. Choosing Ends has still not backed for his form swap. I am assuming it's because he is waiting. The flash forward, actually, tons per capita. Does miss the Q. This isn't there. The shotgun damage maybe there. The ultimate, though, dodged out by the Kog'Maw. Very nicely played. One more knee shotgun isn't going to be enough. And now looks like maybe going for the kill. But no, Mado is there. Killjoy as well. And it looks like actually Killjoy walks too close to the Kog'Maw. A Cathian surprise is enough to get the return kill. Killjoy just been all over the place, making these questionable decisions, walking under the tower, flipping the wall to try and kill the Bard, even though the enemy team is there. Just mistakes that don't need to be made. And now the Talon at 2 and 5, just not having the impact he would like to have on the game. Interesting to note here as well, the Galio has opted for the Righteous Glory as his first item, really trying to get into these fights, opting for no AP, so this will be a full tank Galio, which does mean that there's a substantial lack of damage on the side of blue team that it will be slightly solved if they do have a Shadow Assassin Kayn as opposed to a Rost, but we will have to see what form he does choose to take, as the Galio will be full tank instead, and the Kog'Maw does have a lot of damage, so it may be possible for the Cog to just say, you know what, I'm just going to go straight damage and have it work out. Mado actually looking for the play on Manicat, but there are a lot of Raptors there, and finally goes in. The burst is there, but unfortunately that is a very tanky Galio. Not quite enough yet. And interesting note, Kayn has still not chosen a form yet, is looking for the Evelyn, but she is in stealth. Hikikori Mimer is stunned up and bursted down. Very nicely played, but now they're in onto Mado. The Widowmaker is burned, but Killjoy all by himself. Hero's entrance isn't enough, but choosing ends a very, very nice Umbral Trespass, and he will be able to finish off the kill here. Bot lane, though, do get the kill. The Bard was not there, was roaming around, and that meant an immediate all-in from the bottom side, and this Urgot is starting to get going. Now, it still is not going to equal the Kog'Maw in the late game. I can't stress that enough. Kog'Maw with the full Rage Blade is already going to be doing a substantial amount of damage, but honestly, a mistake from Hikikori Mimer to not go with boots early on. The only way you get killed in this matchup is if you can't dodge the skill shots, and unfortunately that's something that's happened because Kog'Maw, very slow moving, didn't have boots yet, and now this is a lot of pressure going down on the bottom lane. Teleport actually burned. This will be the Galio trying to come in and make the play. Fake Kog'Maw not getting the stun on that Cosmic Binding, but is feared away, and it looks like red team will be able to walk out of this just fine. Choosing ends looks like we'll probably be going for that Shadow Assassin form Like I said, I do approve of this choice as it will give him a substantial amount of more damage that this team comp needs. This will be a disdain in onto the Bard, though. Knee shotguns are good, and Clowns per capita finishes him off. Hikikori Mori Mimer, though, is able to trade it back despite the ultimate, and now we flip over to the top lane. Kim Jong-hooni is there. Skydunk trying to sustain it up. The fear is there, but is the damage? Yes, he will be able to finish that off. The Poppy gets the knockup. The Poppy is going under the tower. Kim Jong-hooni gets the slow, but he is very, very low. The tower tank is going back around, and Mado is finally able to finish off with one last whiplash. Killj, meanwhile, looks like took the brunt of a trade against Choosing Ends, is able to get out of there just fine. A very crunchy dive, I think I would say, in the top lane. Not exactly the best executed, but certainly a decent, they did get the kill, so you can't complain that much. And Killj walking back in the lane at this low HP. Hex Drinker is now burned. The Galio may end up wanting to go for this, has a substantial amount of durability, and the talent is not that healthy, so we'll have to see if he decides to go for the dive, instead just choosing to continue poking away with the Q and kill J-Force to stay under his own tower. Now, red team actually almost has that first tower blood, which will help them cement their mid game, help bring the gold back a little bit, but unfortunately, it may be too little too late. The Kog'Maw is scaling, does have the Ginsu's Rageblade as mentioned before, and a lot of pressure now going to be levied on this mid lane tower. Killj is low all by himself, has ultimate available, but no flash. The Evelyn is there, though. The charm is in, and the Bard immediately choosing to get out of there, and the Bard is spending a lot of time out of lane. You're letting your Kog'Maw lane by himself a lot, and sure, he is getting solo lane experience and solo lane gold, but it does mean that the Kog'Maw is actually not going to be in that great of a spot. Dro's Pygraph actually getting all in by the Shadow Assassin Kayn. A lot of damage goes down. The taunt is there, flashes away. The tower goes down as well. Clowns per capita eats Kog'Maw again. They go under the tower to try and get Rose Pygraph, but that is a Poppy you're diving. Hero's Entrance is in, but Rose Pygraph is able to finish off the kill with one more heroic charge. Kim Jong-hooni now under the tower, but Crowstorm is in. Skydunk is trying to do the damage, but he's a support. Fiddlesticks does not quite have it now. By now, Killj is back. All in's the Shen, but the Shen with a good auto attack reset is able to finish it off. The passive does not pop from the Talon, and Kim Jong-hooni walking away with his life. Mado though now on the chase, maybe looking for a flank or for the Kayn. It is a Shadow Assassin Kayn, so he is not very durable. Mado is there. Does she have the damage, though? Yes, the Widowmaker slashes him to pieces, and she does get out. Very nicely played. And now red team did get the first tower in the bottom side. The Urgot then immediately all in the Kog'Maw, and now they're on the mid lane tower here. The Bard needs to be there with the Kog'Maw. The Kog'Maw has shown multiple times he cannot lane by himself against even just the Urgot. The Urgot, if he finds the E, will immediately all in and get the kill if he has the ultimate available. Kog'Maw does not have the mobility to get himself out of dodge. In fact, Kog'Maw now going for the Negatron cloak. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to be building into for him, but I don't feel like it's going to have that much impact when you're getting killed by the Urgot of all champions. There is not that much ability power damage on the side of red team. Rose Pygraph actually fairly low here, but does pop the Steadfast Presence. Will be able to get out. Clowns per capita gets taunted up. They aren't able to Blast Cone away immediately away to safety. There goes the Blast Cone, but it just knocks Mana Cat closer. Rose Pygraph is trying to get out. The ultimate does knock away one member, but Fate Kuromo still able to finish off the kill. Now Urgot low on mana under his own tower. They will not elect to go for the dive, but there's nothing that Urgot can do, and they will be forced away. Killj now on to Choosing Ends. That is a squishy Shadow Assassin Kayn, but he doesn't get the extra Q. The damage is there, but the Umbral Trespass is as well, and Killj does finish him off. Actually, they kill each other. The bleed was enough, so to trade it back and forth, jungler for mid laner. And this will be another dragon attempt for blue team now. Mado actually pressuring the mid lane tower as opposed to responding to the Drake, which is probably what you want to do, as that is another Ocean Drake. Not that efficient when the enemy team will be bursting you down as opposed to just trying to drag it out fights. So the second Ocean Drake is picked up, but the gold lead now in favor of red team. They have the objective pressure now with 2 towers down now, and no towers yet answered for blue team. Blue team is starting to get very caught up in rotations and not keeping track of their win condition, which is just get the Kog'Maw to late game. Bard needed to be staying with the Kog'Maw as opposed to roaming. He hasn't gotten anything for his roams except the Kog'Maw has been dying. The pressure is here though on the mid lane tower. That is a Rageblade Kog'Maw, so may be able to finish this off, but it looks like this will be the Talon there and the Poppy to barely save it. And now Skydunk here as well, getting a little bit of damage in. Rift Herald was actually taken up in the top lane for the red team, so they will be able to use that to try and take down the tower. Teleport comes in from Rose Pygraph. The Herald is there beating it up, but here comes a hero's entrance. Galio makes his entrance. Choosing Ends is there as well. Rose Pygraph is a very, very tanky Poppy, and it looks like she may be able to get out of this just fine. The tower does not actually fall, but Herald dies, and Rose Pygraph still trying to run. The slow is in, though, and there's nothing Mado can do. Rose Pygraph does have the W passive here, but Killjoy is in. Can they turn anything back around? No, they can't. Manicat gets the kill, but Mado is trying to assassinate, but they just don't have the damage. Widowmaker finally comes through, and the Urgot is here. He does have the ultimate down, but it's not quite enough to get the kill. Manicat finally goes down. Mado with a double kill. A great Tempered Fate is able to prevent them from any further chasing, and Choosing Ends maybe he'll get out of this fate. Kog'Maw is in. Killjoy is there, though, and he finishes him off with the Q, and this will be a Bard killed as well from Mado. And now Hikikori Mimer all by himself. That is all Kog'Maw. You can't just frontline like this, and the Urgot is there. Does not have the W, but a knee shotgun is enough to take it off, and that is an ace for the red team. Just very nicely played by red team here. They found the picks. Sure, you were able to kill the Fiddlesticks, but he basically did his job by distracting you from the rest of the fight. And blue team burned so many cooldowns on trying to kill the Poppy that by the time the rest of red team had shown up, there's nothing you can do about it. A very poor teleport there burned from Kim Jong-hooni, so this will be the tower burned as well as the Shen teleport. And I have yet to see any good Stand Uniteds out of the Shen. For the most part, he has simply been up in the top lane farming, has not had a global presence on this game as of yet. There have been a couple of times he's used the ability, but not to the level I would have liked to have seen, especially not when his Kog'Maw was dying. Cost per capita all by himself, up against two members of the enemy team, but that is a lot of damage going down. The ultimate does go wide. He will not have that ability to execute, but one more Q, the flash in, but the Shen ult is there as well. Disdain, though, is enough to finish off the kill, and now a double kill. The Bard all by himself, perhaps overextended. Manicat is in, the taunt is there. That is a very, very tanky Galio. He should be totally fine, but the Disdain comes through. Comes per capita taking a lot of tower shots. May go down, barely survives. Skydunk now getting the fear, and Killjoy able to finish off the kill now. But Kim Jong-hooni around the other side does finish off the Urgot. Red team, though, have the pressure advantage here in the mid lane. Kog'Maw is all by himself. Does have the Shen there, but a tackle in immediately from Rose Pygraph. Trying to burst down the Shen, but he is relatively tanky. Doesn't look like the kill will come through yet. Killjoy finishing him off with the help from Skydunk's Ignite. Again, blue team now scrambling, trying to go for these aggressive plays. The Urgot is very fed and is very, very durable. Is not the good candidate for the Kayn assassination. He tried to turn it back around, but you don't assassinate a Juggernaut. It's not something that happens. So Kayn gets killed off there, and then Manicat and Fate Kurumbo have already kind of committed to this bad play, and they're able to successfully use their rotation skills to get around it. Now Kog'Maw actually trying to get the kill on a Skydunk. A lot of damage though comes down. Killjoy not quite able to get out of there. This will be the last tick of the Ignite. No, he survives. The knockback from Rose Pygraph does save her mid laner's life, and it looks like Talon will be able to walk out of that no problem. Grasping at straws there from the blue team. I think that they had maybe an opportunity to make the play. You had the two-man stun from Kurumbo, and not a great wall leap from the Talon, but does manage to get out, does not die, and that leaves pressure on the side of red team, now at a 6k gold lead. Now, they are still up against the clock. The Kog'Maw is still getting stronger, does have the Null Magic Man, or the Negatron Cloak built up. The Reeker Bow is in, the Ginsu's Rage Blade, but has not snowballed, has not gotten the farm he really needed because of the lack of pressure in the bottom lane. Galio actually going in 1v4. He is a very tanky champion, but is stunned up against the wall. There's the execute. Now there's the Terrify onto Choosing Ends. Choosing Ends forced to run away, but a lot of damage comes back around, and Killjoy able to finish that off. Umbral Trespass not even used, and now red team with a 2-kill advantage will be pushing in on this. Manicat actually disconnecting. Hopefully that isn't a rage quit, it is instead simply internet issues, but we'll have to see. For now, red team do have the advantage. Cost per capita actually tanking up the tower. Goes underneath it to try and get the damage down. This will be a very long tower take. Cost per capita actually not even breaking tower aggro. Loses most of his health to it, but they still have the two-man advantage, and I don't think they have the damage necessary to finish off the red team here. No Galio, no Kayn, and red team will be able to secure this inhibitor here. Actually, the charm does come through. A lot of damage is there. Skydunk gets the Terrify, and Mado finishes off the kill with another hate spike. The inhibitor finally goes down, and red team do not have the damage, I don't think, to stay to try and finish this off. A flash in from Mado, actually, but does not get the charm. Widowmaker is there. Untargetability gets her out of dodge. Cost per capita now trying to get the kill on Kim Jong-hooni. Does manage to, but Choosing Ends is back in. The Umbral Trespass is there, and Skydunk will be going down to that, but Mado now back in, did get the healing from the passive. And though Choosing Ends gets the double kill, Mado will finish him off as well. Manicat is back a little bit too late. Might have been able to turn that fight around with the hero's entrance, but what's done is done. His team will have to deal with the disadvantage they're at now. Inhibitor down, and almost an 8k gold lead built up now for Red Team. Have all the advantage in the world, especially against this Kog'Maw. The Assassins are ahead, and the defenses are not quite there. The Galio and the Shen are not protecting their Kog'Maw, and a big disadvantage that Kog'Maw had was the fact that the Bard kept roaming. All you had to do is, if you're blue, is sit on the Kog'Maw, make sure he has a good landing phase. Manicat flashing in, what is he doing? He's going to go down here, there is no way out for him, may get some reinforcements, no, they're all going to the Baron instead. Red Team finishing him off. Rose Pie Graph does get the kill, but they're on the Baron, trying to tank it up with the Bard, but not that tanky. Shen is on the top lane instead. Kim Jong-hooni needs to rotate down if they want to be able to two-man this, but the execute comes through, and now Red Team will know they are rotating down, and that is an abortive Baron tactic. Kim Jong-hooni should have been there. Righteous Glory is in for Clans Per Capita. He will be able to get in on this, but the Spirit's Refuge keeps Shen alive for just a little bit longer. The ultimate comes in from Clans Per Capita, but I don't think he has enough time to get the execute. The Q slow is there as well. Not enough to be able to eat him, but Kim Jong-hooni all by himself. The Fiddlesticks is there as well, and Clans Per Capita finally finishes him off. Hikakori Mimer, they made a risky play to try and go for the 3-man Baron. Kim Jong-hooni did not respond, and even if they did, I don't know if they would have been able to finish it off in time. The Kog'Maw is just not that far ahead. He's actually down 40 CS to the Urgot, which is not something you expect to see. Does have the Wit's End built up. That is what the Negatron Cloak was for. Didn't know the recipe off the top of my head, but does have that completed. Clans Per Capita actually missing the E. Couldn't quite get in on that. And now Fake Chromo is there. Clans Per Capita may have been forced to flash away from this, but looks like was trying to at least stall this out. Is still a very tanky Urgot. The flip over, Manicat taking a bunch of damage, but the ultimate is not quite there. He may or may not have the shotgun knee. There it is. Clans Per Capita finishes off the kill, and Crowstorm is in from Skydunk. An immediate flash away. Baron Nashor does go down. The Shen ult is there on a Skydunk. Choosing Ends finishes off the kill. The Urgot is dead as well, but Baron did go over, and now Hikakori Mimer all by himself. And I don't think they really want to walk into this jungle when there are two Fed Assassins running around. The ultimate actually comes through from the Bard. I don't know what that's about, but the Talon goes in. Fake Kuromo goes down. The Kane will be surviving thanks to his ultimate, but will be going down immediately afterwards. Killjoy picking up the kill on that. And now Red Team with the advantage. Looks like they're trying to go for the Kog'Maw. The ultimate in actually from Mado, but that's the surrender vote. So burning cooldowns at the end of the game, and Blue Team giving up the Ghost after 27 minutes of play, down 10,000 gold. And this is a big example of how you can go for a late game team composition and still not win the game. You had the Kog'Maw, you had the Shen, you had the Galio. That's a nightmare for the enemy team to deal with. All you needed is a sensor support, and you would have been totally fine. The Kog'Maw carries the game. But the Bard was roaming too much early on and letting the Kog'Maw get killed under tower. The Shen did not have the map awareness his team needed him to have. And Red Team, quite frankly, played the objective game better. Instead of going for the objectives that didn't matter, the Ocean Drakes, they were able to go for the objectives that did. The towers, the Rift Herald, everything that they wanted, and then at the very end of the game, it just fell apart for Blue Team. They were getting picked left and right against multiple assassins. They weren't grouping up and roaming as a team, and the Kog'Maw was just not in the state he needed to be that late in the game. So ultimately, this will be Red Team picking up a victory. Very nicely played by them, and I think well executed on the Urgot Fiddlesticks bottom lane. Who knew? It worked out. I know I shat on it a bunch, but it did end up playing out in their favor. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. Go ahead and leave me your feedback down in the comment section below, as I do these videos to try and improve. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will talk to you all later.